This logic tree maps the hierarchy of magical power. A standard wizard filters existing magic, acting as a conduit. But the eighth son of an eighth son is a living generator, a spring of raw magic with infinite capacity. They are a sorcerer. Knowing this, a rogue wizard named Superodito the Red breaks every tradition of his order. He falls in love, has 8 sons, and eventually finds himself standing on a stormy cliffside, holding his newborn 8th child while facing down death itself. Superodito refuses to let his lineage fade into obscurity. Instead of crossing over into the afterlife, Superodito forces his soul into a staff made of magical octaron. A violent lightning strike seals the transfer, leaving only the newborn child, Coin, clutching the smoking, humming metal. From inside the staff, Superodito declares his final ambition. He binds his power to the boy, vowing that Coin will march into the unseen university, claim the Arch-Chancellor's hat, and force the greedy, complacent magical establishment to bow to true power. Superodito's refusal to die creates a massive loophole in the rules of destiny. Death warns him that playing with fate at this scale risks unraveling the world, but Superodito proceeds anyway. He creates a living, walking anomaly that the universe is entirely unprepared to handle. Meanwhile, the unseen university is the exact opposite of ancient, raw power. The modern magical establishment has devolved into a stagnant bureaucracy. Senior wizards actively avoid practicing spells, preferring to spend their time navigating internal politics and eating massive multi-course dinners. But as Coin approaches the city, the environment triggers an apocalyptic panic response. Millions of rats, mutated insects, and furniture begin fleeing the campus. The ancient stone gargoyles detach from their perches and awkwardly scramble down the brick walls in sheer terror. The only person on the entire faculty who notices this mass exodus is Rincewind. He is a wizard of absolute zero magical ability, but his finely tuned, professional-grade cowardice allows him to realize that the physical stones of the university are vibrating with fear. While Rincewind panics, the elite wizards remain in the Great Hall, feasting and completely oblivious. The walls of their institution are trying to run away, proving exactly how blind the leadership has become to the apocalyptic threat outside their doors. Inside that Great Hall, the senior wizards are busy gorging themselves on roasted ox and butter sculptures. They are gathering to elect a new Arch-Chancellor, entirely confident in their own supreme authority. That illusion shatters when the locked, heavy oak doors glow white-hot and explode inward.
Through the smoke walks a 10-year-old child holding a staff taller than he is. Master Bilious attempts to put the child in his place by conjuring a complex, highly respected pocket dimension spell called Malagree's Magic Garden. Coin takes the glowing diorama, casually turns the entire dimension inside out, and vaporizes Bilious into a cloud of greasy black smoke. The remaining wizards instantly abandon their pride.
The treasurer, Peltray, watches his colleague turn to ash and immediately pivots to obsequious flattery, eagerly submitting to the child in a desperate bid for self-preservation. In the time it took for a single spell to fail, the university's internal hierarchy vanished. With their strongest fighter dead and their treasurer already pledging loyalty to a child, the remaining wizards followed suit to avoid the same smoke-smelling fate. The ancient school for magic became a house of worship for its new master. The only entity in the university that formulates a defense is the Arch-Chancellor's hat. It is an ancient, sentient artifact containing the collective minds of all past Arch-Chancellors, and it instantly realizes the current wizards are doomed. The hat takes drastic action. It telepathically hires a thief named Konina to steal it out of the university. Konina is the daughter of Cohen the Barbarian, gifted with lethal, involuntary combat reflexes, though she secretly just wants to be a hairdresser. Konina successfully extracts the hat and ducks into the city's most violent tavern. There, she tracks down the only wizard who managed to run away, Rincewind. Before Rincewind can escape her, the city guard ambushes them. Despite her desire for a peaceful life, Konina's genetic muscle memory takes over, and she flawlessly dismantles the heavily armed guards in a flurry of reluctant, devastating martial arts. Adding to the chaos, Rincewind's fiercely loyal, homicidal, multi-legged wooden trunk,
known as the luggage, kicks its way through the brawl to join them as they sprint into the foggy streets. The Hat's intervention creates the most violently mismatched group imaginable. The survival of magic now rests on a frustrated thief, a hopelessly cowardly wizard, and a bloodthirsty piece of luggage. Safely in an alleyway, the Hat reveals the stakes via this flowchart. Coin's raw magic overloads natural laws, triggering the apocalypse and awakening the ice giants. Panning down, we see the countermeasure, bringing the Hat to Clatch to find a champion. Rincewind absolutely refuses. He explains that his entire survival strategy relies on running away from danger, and sailing to an unknown continent to fight a godchild directly contradicts that philosophy. The Hat drops the diplomacy. It taps into its own raw power and calmly threatens to freeze Rincewind alive in the middle of the alley if he takes one step in the wrong direction. The fate of reality comes down to pure extortion. To save the universe, the ultimate symbol of magical wisdom threatens a dedicated coward with freezing death just to get him on a boat. The battle lines are drawn. On one side sits an unstoppable, glowing 10-year-old ruling over a corrupted magical institution. On the other, a reluctant thief, an aggressively cowardly wizard, and a violent piece of furniture sprinting through the fog. For centuries, the university ignored the wilder side of magic in favor of safety and silence. Now they are subjects to the raw power they feared, while the fate of the world rests with a failed student, a reluctant thief, and a violent trunk. The very chaos the wizards tried to organize is the only thing left to save them.